If you're feeling like I was at the beginning, struggling with not having enough money or time, not knowing where to find the deals, or just generally overwhelmed and not knowing how to get started, then you've come to the right place, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to go from 0 to 20 million in less than 3 years. It may seem impossible, but I can assure you it's not. A lot of people who I talk to tell me they don't have enough money to invest in property, and I thought the same when I was first starting. But with 1 month's salary, I set out to become a property millionaire. The problem was, I had no idea what to do. I continued to try and figure it out, and it was so frustrating not knowing what to do and how to get the deals. I felt lost and overwhelmed, and I just couldn't get a deal no matter what. It even ended up getting worse before it actually got better. For a while, I was shooting in the dark with no knowledge at all. I was calling agents with the wrong scripts over and over again, thinking that it was going to work. I even viewed over 600 properties, which was a total waste of time. Or was it? But I'll tell you about that later. It's going to be all doom and gloom at this point, and then we're going to pick them up. Overall, I just felt like there was not enough hours in the day. I was completely run off my feet with an office job, looking after the kids and the stresses of life itself. It all looked like a dead end. Nothing was going right. Then I had a breakthrough and really started to educate myself. I found a deal on Gumtree. I met the owner, and then I started to realize that property was a relationship game. 4 meetings later, and that property was mine. We shook hands, and off I went on my property journey. I finally felt like I was getting somewhere. Until the next thing that came along wasn't another property. Unfortunately, it was inherited debt. With that came the maintenance and the running costs, and the fact I couldn't get a tenant meant I was back to square one. I thought it couldn't get any worse. And then the boiler blew. 2.5 grand that cost me, on a credit card, no choice, had to get it done. I decided to take a break and found myself at a coffee shop with a good friend of mine who started to tell me about Airbnb, and this was my light bulb moment. Bing! Something at the time that I had absolutely no idea about, but in simple terms, instead of having tenants in your property, paying a fixed rent every month, you furnish them and run them a bit like a hotel and charge a nightly rent. Something I talk a lot about on this channel. I had my courage back, and I trusted in the process of modelling success of someone who has already got experience in this Airbnb field. I headed straight to IKEA, I listed on Airbnb, and finally I started to see revenue coming into the property. Let's take a look into the finer details. So what we're going to do today is have a look at where the Airbnb journey all started for me. This is the very first property that I put on Airbnb, so we're going to take a look inside. I basically went to IKEA, put all this together, and spent overnight in here building it all up. So I took some photographs of it, put it on Airbnb. At that time I didn't know how to do anything with Airbnb. You know, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to clean it, how I was going to dress the linen, or anything, you know. So you don't always have to know everything to get started, and that's the main thing. So put it on Airbnb and got £3,500 worth of bookings within the first 5 days of having it listed, and that was me hooked. And then the journey, you know, kicked off from there. I then tested another property that worked, and so on and so forth. And after that, my next 21 deals came within the next 7 months. If you want to find out how I achieved £500 to £1,000 on my next 21 deals acquired over a 7-month period, check out this playlist. It'll show you exactly how to do that.